You are now in the Black Box. Whoa. With Spider Loke, Most Easty, aka VJ Keyway, and the Google Gang. Let's go!
Snake Wood Net Hustle. Big shout out to my nigga SPI, Spider Loke. You know I'm in the Black Box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.
Jeter, gratitude is the attitude. Show is a blessing to be back in the Black Box as we blow us a session. The constant, consistent, continuous content creation campaign continues. Those are the 7 C's, and as we navigate them, I'm the captain of the ship, SPI Easty, a.k.a. VJ Keyway, Mr. 1597 himself. It's time for some more R&R. So go ahead, roll up, relax, as we randomly reacts to this content, these YouTube streets. Byron Blake, he say the U.S. government wants to stop Big U from representing himself. I haven't even listened as to why he feels that way. We've been on this channel quite a bit lately. We got a part 1 and a part 2 is why he feels like 1090J helped take down the sex, money, murder gang. So you might want to go check that out. But we finna see why he say what he say. So with no further ado, let's see what Blake says Big U and the government have been up to.
Okay, so today Big U went in front of a federal judge for what's called a Faretta hearing, which is basically a hearing to determine if he is mentally capable of representing himself in court. It's kind of like when you plead out, they ask you, did you discuss these charges with your attorney? Do you understand that if you plead guilty, you waiving your right to appeal? It's pretty much the same process, but this time the questions will be, do you understand that you have a constitutional right to an attorney? Do you understand that you are waiving your constitutional right to an attorney, meaning that you are giving up that right? Do you understand that you are representing yourself and will not be able to blame any failures or mistakes on anybody else? I emphasize that because by representing yourself, you give up your ability to claim ineffective assistance of counsel, which is by far one of the most used claims in court. Ineffective assistance of counsel is basically a client or a defendant saying that
not just in court, but when it comes to appeal, that seems like that's the most common thing that appellate inmates attempt to claim ineffective assistance of counsel.
Hey, this went wrong in my case because my lawyer did this wrong. That argument alone gives you like a built-in ability to bring any issue that you saw wrong in your case in front of the courts again. Anything that didn't go the way you wanted it to go in your case, you can come in and say, hey, my lawyer did this and this is what I wanted done. And you have the ability to put that issue back in front of the court because your constitutional right to effective assistance of counsel ensures that your attorney does not just go in here and make a mess of your case. He can't go in here and argue self-defense if you as a client want to argue that you were not there. The best thing he would be able to do is file to get off of your case and say there's a conflict of interest and just say, hey, he wants to go this way and I want to go this way. We need to part ways. But he can't actually ignore the fact that you came and said, hey, I wasn't there, here's my alibi, and still go in and argue self-defense. In a situation like that, if you were to go to trial and be found guilty, that's ineffective assistance of counsel. Hey, my lawyer did this wrong, and this is the prejudice that I suffered as a result of that. I had an alibi, but as a result of him going in and placing me on the scene and trying to argue self-defense, I was found guilty. That's ineffective assistance of counsel. So anytime you are attempting to represent yourself in court, they have to have a hearing to make sure you understand that if you were to lose, you no longer have that ineffective assistance of counsel claim. You can't come in and say, hey, my lawyer did this wrong if you were your own lawyer. You also have a constitutional right to a fair trial, meaning that they have to make sure that you are mentally sound and capable of representing yourself. Reading these things and understanding them, all of those things factor in because if you were to lose this case by representing yourself and go up on appeal, and the Court of Appeals sees that you didn't even graduate from high school or finish the 8th grade, then they're going to send the case back and say, no, this wasn't fair. He wasn't capable of representing himself mentally. Now,
I'm not sure if you have to have completed any specific grade level to represent yourself, as long as you can articulate a certain amount of understanding of the law and the situation and scenarios in the English language. I don't think a diploma is required.
Now, the government appears to be opposing this, and I really only see one reason why they would do that, and that's because they don't want Big U to have access to the discovery
Bingo.
materials, not full access. They could stand a lawyer sitting in front of him and limiting what he's allowed to see, but for him to represent himself and have full, you got to understand, he gets full access. Meaning that if there's a video interrogation, they have to take him out to the law library and make sure he's accommodated and able to watch that footage and study the video and see what's being said and who is saying it. As we have discussed before, the government does not want Big U getting his hands on this information. They have filed protective orders to which most of his co-defendants have agreed, but the reason he's going pro se right now, I believe, is because his attorney attempted to concede and agree to that, and he said, no, I want to see everything. I want it, so they filed this protective order basically saying they didn't even want Big U to memorize nothing that's on his paperwork.
Well, you got to know, at least take note from Big U. You fighting for your life. You got to have courage to speak up, say something. Don't let these white folks just make all the decisions on your behalf, and then they give you this long-ass sentence. Now you back there saying I shoulda, woulda, coulda. Oh, my mama, speak up, say something.
They barely want them to see it, but they don't even want you committing anything that's involved in this case to your memory. And that's a constitutional violation if you ask me. But the co-defendants agreed to it, and so I think that's why they're getting it off. In any case, what they did with this memorandum they filed today in this Faretta hearing was basically outline the charges that he is facing, why he may be facing those charges, what role he may have played. It narrows down the positions that they could possibly put him in, but it focuses in on the dangers and disadvantages of representing yourself at trial. And I believe that's a scare tactic, because at the end of the day, Big U could always say, hey, I got some money now and I want to pay for a private attorney. But as of right now, I don't have no money to pay for an attorney to represent me. And I'd rather just represent myself to avoid putting my life in the hands of somebody who may not work for me.
Yeah, that's the point I made. I don't believe making that decision at this juncture makes him committed to it where it's permanent no matter what happens or transpires in the future. On my mama, but having that status does make him capable of accessing all related documents associated with his case, I believe.
As hard as a person who is getting paid. So yeah, that pretty much sums up what went on in Big U's case today. From looking at this memorandum, I really don't see why people are saying Big U is done. The maximum penalty he is facing is 30 years. I think all of these charges will have to run concurrent. I ain't sure on that, so don't quote me on that. But if these charges were to run concurrent, he looking at a maximum of 30 years.
The government, according to their calculations, the total possible years was 600. That's why everybody's saying they threw out A. Byron Blake. I don't know what calculator you're utilizing, but I know the official amount of years I heard was 600. So I don't know where you're getting that 30 from, but I heard 600.
Probably only gonna get about 10 if he gets convicted. And I think a lot of people overlooking that. People are talking about how bad his criminal history is and all of that stuff. And that's how I know a lot of y'all don't really have no history with the feds or know how the feds work. Because to my knowledge, as of like 15 years ago, the feds don't even count convictions that are over 15 years old. That's to my knowledge. If the sentencing guidelines been updated since then somebody correct me. But to my knowledge, the feds don't count convictions that are over 15 years old. They do. They will under certain circumstances, but the guidelines suggest that they not do it. Of course, the guidelines are just guidelines, but not sticking to the guidelines is grounds for an appeal in most cases. If you deviate from the guidelines, you got to have a good reason why, and you got to be able to show that reason on paper. So with that said, I'm going to say it again like I've been saying it. I don't think Big U's situation is as bad as people are making it out to be. In my opinion, for real, I really think he innocent. You know what I'm saying? The worst thing he might be facing is those bank fraud charges, and that's just from moving money around from developing options, which all of these organizations do. The Black Lives Matter lady bought a house. Like, people do that stuff. So I'm not going to condemn the man and wish the rest of his life in prison on him for that. But the rest of that stuff kind of just sound made up, and like they put a plot together to, you know, get this man persecuted for these different situations. I'm not going to speak on that case in Las Vegas because I don't want to offend the family. You know, I want them to get their justice that they seeking, you know, but his situation don't look as bad to me as people are making it out to be. So with that said, I'm going to wrap this one up, man. It's your boy Byron Blake. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, all that YouTube stuff. I'm out.
I ain't sure how Byron Blake got to 30 years, but I heard it was 600. And the wire fraud seems to be the least of Big U problems when it comes to the controlled payments and the alleged extortion allegations. But I think the biggest lesson we can learn is when you live that way, sometimes you have to pay, especially when you live and die in L.A. Spend it wisely. See, some supposed to wanna see me win, despise me before my eyes. In disguise, ain't got no friends. Mama been advised me, instead of building me up, they minimize me. In the end, all the energy just energized me. On top of the sin and that genocide me, same time, no kind trying to genocide me. Set tripping days, finish finally. Been behind me, go on, run that business by me. I'm a businessman with a business mind, handling business with a big ass sig beside me. Y'all know me, no sleeping, no slipping. Still hit the streets one deep and go dipping. No retreating, no tripping. Think twice before creeping on crippin'.
Cause these streets ain't playing fair. Niggas want a problem, we can take it. Living down that life. Your own homies that'll take you out. I pray to God that I make it out. Down that life. Where niggas chucking up gang signs. Get it cracking in the summertime. Down that life. Nigga, all that shit trick. Everywhere I go, I keep it with. Living down that life.
I handle business, keep my hand on the stizzle. By any means necessary, nigga, I'm a kizzle. The dog and the spider creeping back on the mission. Till you bitch ass niggas see, don't act different. You know I'm with it cause I'm down for the cause. Fuck the police, I'm breaking the law. Big drink, big smoke, and some big guns. To let you know, motherfucker, that I ain't the one. And nigga, that but you can call me Dad Dilly, I'm the crib guy. Hard praise in the city, on crib. But see, you better not slip. You get faked down, laid down, all by the cliff. You know the lokes is out, the dogs is out. You know them niggas that you let it hate with no doubt. You know it's DAT and the SPI. We represent West Coast to the day.
To living down the life. Cause these streets ain't playing fair. Niggas want a problem, we can take it. Living down the life. Your own homies that'll take you out. I pray to God that I make it out. Down the life. Where niggas chucking up gang signs. Get it cracking in the summertime. Down the life. Nigga, all that shit trick. Everywhere I go, I keep it with. To living down that lake.
Nightwood Net Hustle. Big shout out to my nigga SPI, Spotter Low. You know I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned, all that.
It's the homie cook-up boss, goddammit, Cub Low. And y'all tuning in to the Wake and Bake Show with goddamn it, the homeboy Spider Loc.
Here with SBI, the realest nigga in LA.
Spider this bitch. My nigga Spider Loc. Spider Loc, nigga.
Spider Loc.
It's Spider Loc.
Spider Loc.
Spider Loc.
Spider Loc.
So Spider looks at me because we go back to the juvenile side of the county.
What the fuck?
My nigga.
Spider Loc.
Spider Loc. Shout out to SBI, that motherfucking nigga.
Spider Loc, Wake and Bake. Better keep it Google, nigga.
Loc is in LA somewhere doing what he's doing.
In the words of Spider Loc, on my mama's mama.
Spider Loc's gear. This is Bay Mac.
Nate Blood, C-Mac, shout out my Loc, Spider Loc, huh? Nate Blood, on hood. It's a beautiful world. You fight me? Fight, quit.
Point blank, through no subliminal dissing. When I listen, I can tell you never been on no mission. Sticking to the script, don't care if I offend you. Neighborhood crib, the marathon
I overlook my competition, never seeing them. I done trained my mind that I'm going. You could tell by how I walk, talk, I'm a boss. A east side millionaire, homie, what you thought? My life is a movie. They can't get close to me. They mad cause they can't be. I'm everything that they wanna be, yeah.
You are now in the Black Box. Whoa! With Spider Loc, Most Easty, aka BJ Keyway, and the Google Gang.
Let's go!
We say Spider Loc gave Black Wall Street a pass today. So Spider looks at me because we go back to the juvenile side of the county.
What the fuck?